hopefully you saw some of that. Let me try and get in some better light here. But hopefully you saw at least some of that there. Header board's all up. Somebody coming up the road here. Sounds like they're on a motorcycle, but it's kind of the wrong time of year for that. But anyways, header board's up. Next step is going to be the track itself. I got some stuff I need to figure out on that, like what size bolts and screws I'm going to use for it. Let me grab you off the tripod here, it might be easier to explain. This track here, it's got these hangers on them, I guess you'd call them. I think they're technically for if you want to put flashing on or whatever, but they've got these 3 holes back here. One is bigger than the other 2. That there's 5 of them per 8-foot section of track. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. My dad's suggestion was to use these essentially lag bolts, but let's see. Oh my God, that will fit through there. That's a little smaller than I'd like to see. Is there one with a... they look like they're all about the same size. Hey, that one looks like it might be a little bigger. Let's try it. Big enough to cover it. I don't think they're big enough. No, they're small enough. They're too big to go through the smaller holes. So I'll probably end up using these screws here, because those fit in there nicely. The thing I'm worried about with this track, where it's just being mounted back here, I'm worried that it's going to want to, if it's mounted to the board here, I'm worried it's going to want to do that. I'm worried it's going to want to torque away from the board. So another suggestion of my dad's was to drill holes, 1 or 2 holes per section of track here between these pieces of flashing, and put screws actually up inside the track itself to hold it up here, so that it'll be mounted in the back and in the track itself, so that it can't torque away from the board. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead, figure out what size drill bit I need to drill holes in that track, because it's going to be a lot easier to drill holes with it on the sawhorses than it's going to be to drill holes once it's up on the board, because it's always easier to work down here instead of up above your head. And it's just going to be a matter of getting it up. Up is always fun. So I'll get back to you once I figure out how I'm going to do this. Okay, so as you can see, I've got a hole drilled there, and I used a 7/32 drill bit, which is just the proper size for that screw to fit through without the head pulling through. Obviously I'm not going to put it through this way, but it would go in this way if I can manage to do this. It would go in there, be flush like that. Now I'm going to grab my trolley here and we'll run it down through, and you can see it clears quite nicely. So that will work out perfectly. Need to pick that up and make sure I put it back in the right box. Go ahead and pick this up too. The shop is kind of turning into a mess out here. Crack open a non-adult beverage, in case any of you are wondering. I'm not going to be out here working with power tools and drinking. But I'm going to drill a bunch more holes in that chunk of door track. And then I need to figure out just how I want to mount, or where I want to mount the track. Figuring out how I want to mount it is kind of a moot point. I pretty much already figured that out. So I guess I will get back to you once I have at least a section of track up, I think. Yeah, I'll get back to you when I get back to you, I guess. So stick around. Well, there's the easy section. The reason I say that one's the easy section is because that one, you won't be able to see it from here, but if I grab you off the tripod here and bring you over here, this one, there's this board right here. that I was able to put that bracket right up against, and I don't know, to me it looks fairly even along the front of that board. I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but I don't know if you can see in there, one of my screws is there, and now that I've got the whole thing mounted up there, we're going to give it a test. Perfect. Doesn't catch anywhere, glides nice and easy all the way to the other end, and right on off. I've got two more sections to go, one over here and one over there. They're both currently stood up in the corner over there. It's 5:30. I don't know that I'm going to get any of the door frame started here tonight. Hell, I don't even know if I'm going to get them other two sections of track up tonight. But I'm one step closer to having a door. Makes me happy. As long as I'm happy, I'm happy. So that'll be part 2 of this video, is mounting the track. Probably not going to film the other 2 sections just because this one was kind of a pain in the ass. So I'm hoping that the bow in the center of it is mostly from the bow in the board. I don't know if you guys can see on camera. It's not really showing up on camera. I don't know if you can even see it up there, right there. Can you see it? I can see it. I can see it in the little viewfinder on the camera, so I think you guys can see it. But just to the right of center on it, it looks like there's a little bit of a bow, and I know the end of the one board is kind of shaved off there, so I think it's just because of that. So don't comment too much on my woodworking and construction abilities. This is not what I do on a daily basis. This is not something I plan on doing on a daily basis. This is just something that I needed a custom built door. The cheapest way to get a custom built door is to build it yourself. I'm not a builder, I'm not a contractor, I'm not a construction worker. I do like woodwork, you know, doing woodworking, carving, building things, that kind of stuff. But it's not my day job, so don't complain too loud if you are a professional woodworker and you're seeing this and I'm doing something wrong or not doing something the way you would do it. Just leave your comment. I'll take it in stride and move on. So anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And part 3 will be the door build. Depending on how long that takes, I may split that into 2 parts and make that part 3 and 4. But what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to shut the lights off and go in the house, eat some dinner, and then maybe this evening after dinner I'll either come out here and work on getting them other 2 sections of track put up, or just leave them for another night. I'm tired. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning. I hauled 3 loads of corn down to the ethanol plant. Did not film that just because driving a semi and filming seems like a bad idea. Unless I set up a dash cam or something. That just, you never realize how long something's going to take until you're trying to do it on camera. Because then not only do you realize just how long the task you're doing actually takes, you're making it take even longer by setting up a camera every time you go to do something. Which is why I'm not filming everything I'm doing here, like drilling the holes in that section of track. Or I did turn the camera on as I was putting the screws in, because the camera was already on the tripod. All I had to do was come over, turn it on, and hit record. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, I think I already said please comment, rate, and subscribe. But if you like this video and you want to see more woodworking, I'm going to have plenty of scrap wood when I'm done that I can probably get creative and come up with something. I've got 8 8-foot 2x4s, so I'm going to have to cut them. I'll have 7 pieces of 2x4 left over, maybe. One of them is going to get cut up to make bracing in the door. I've got some other scrap wood from this that I've got laying around that may also end up as bracing for the door. So if I've got some leftover wood when I'm done, and you guys want to see more woodworking, I can maybe come up with something, or maybe I could set this up some way to, if you guys want something built by me, I could do commission work, that set up a website that you guys can pay me, I'll build whatever you want and ship it to you. But that might be aiming high. That would be a lot of work. Maybe I probably won't do that. Let's not do the commission thing. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.